Hello everybody, welcome back to my booktube. I am a romance reader and I love anything to do with books, so if you like that sort of content, don't forget to subscribe and let's get into the video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie tag. Now, I am not new to YouTube, but I am new to Booktube, and I thought that I would do this tag so you can get to know me a little bit better. So let's get on to the questions. So the first question is, why did I decide to make this channel? The reason why I made this channel is because I wanted to make more long form content. So I do actually have a book talk where I talk about books and do all my reviews and book shopping and all that on it, but I thought, you know what, why don't I bring it to YouTube and do it a bit more in depth? So that is exactly what I did. And I also wanted to bring a bit more of a fun, light-hearted and maybe a bit more honesty towards a book maybe that's not great, or a bit more of a community where I can sort of express my personality a little bit more than in a short form video. So yes, I do swear in my videos, I do tell you the truth. If I don't like something, I will tell you, and that doesn't mean that it's a bad book necessarily, it just means I don't like it, and it doesn't mean that I'm telling you that you're not going to like it as well. I just wanted to bring a bit more honesty, because I feel like some, not all, but some people, when they come onto YouTube and Booktube and everything, they can just say, oh, I like this book and it's really, really good, and then I'm like, did you actually like it, or are you just following the trends? Now, I can buy a book that might be trending, but if I don't like that book, I will tell you I don't like it. And I feel like that's what we need. We need a bit more honesty in the world and a bit more straight up and upfront. So that is what I'm trying to bring to this channel, and that is what I want other people to bring with them as well. And we can discuss books, and that's what I wanted to make. I wanted to make a bit more of a community to do with the romance area of books, and we can talk about it together and what we liked and what we didn't like. But necessarily it doesn't mean that just because I don't like a book, you're not going to like it, and vice versa. So yes, that is exactly why I decided to make this channel. So the next question is, what are some fun and unique things that I can bring to Booktube? Now, when I saw this question, I was like, I don't really know, and I think it's kind of hard when you're getting put on the spot, but I think my unique thing is that I am honest, and I will tell you if I don't like something, and that doesn't mean that I'm telling you not to read that book or to do that thing, but I'm going to tell you my honest opinion on it. And I feel like you need that in the world more. I'd rather somebody tell me if I didn't, you know, if something looked weird on me or whatever, I'd rather somebody tell me than to be like, yeah, I'll let you go out on it, but actually look, you know, look a bit of a tit in it. And I'd rather somebody tell me, and I'd rather be like, right, if you've read this book, what do you think of it? Is it good or is it not? And then they're going to be like, well, I didn't really like this bit in it, but I really like this bit in it. Fair enough. And I say, you know, are you going to recommend it or not? And if they say no, I'd be like, I'd probably think twice about it. And I'd rather be honest, and I'd rather tell you if I didn't like something, and, you know, people are going to come on and be like, I absolutely love that book. Fair enough, you might like it, but I don't personally. And nobody has to like everything that everybody else does. And some people will say about a book in general, and they'll say, oh, this is a popular book and I really liked it, and then actually behind the scenes they didn't like it. They're just saying it just to jump on the trend, and it's just the way it is. Do you know what I mean? I think that's my thing that I can bring to Book Talk, is my honesty. The fun things is we can go shopping together, we can do little reading vlogs together, we can talk about books as a community, talk about romance. You can, you know, recommend books to me and I can recommend books to you. We can talk about romance books, and that's what I liked the idea of, where we had a community of people who like the same thing as me and we can talk together, because I don't have a lot of people around me that like books, so it's only me and the camera. I mean, my mum likes books, but she's not into the same sort of genre as me. Only a couple of them, particularly the ones I'm into, she's not into. So it's like I have no one else to talk about it because they don't like books. So yes, I think that that is what I can bring to Booktube, and that was very long-winded, but here we are. So the first question I have literally just answered in the last one. My bad. But anyway, what am I most excited about this channel? So I love watching book vlogs and cozy reading vlogs and book hauls and all that sort of thing, and I think I can't wait to make them videos because I love watching them videos, and I love people interacting with them, like, oh my god, I really like this book, and if you've read that one then you'll really enjoy this one. And I like the recommendations that people give when they watch some sort of videos. So that is my most thing that I'm excited for this channel. So question number 4 is, why do I love reading? So I love reading because it gets me away from the real world. And for me, I have this movie playing, well, this film playing in my head of when I'm reading a book. If it's really good, then it will happen in my head. And I can envision all the characters and all the scenery, and it just, I can feel like I'm in that world. And that's why I like reading so much, because it gets me away from reality, and that's what sometimes is needed. So yes, that's exactly why I love reading, and that's why I read from a young age as well, because at the ages that I was, I mean from about 9, 10 is when you start growing up a little bit more, you know, you start going through puberty and you're all through your changes and stuff, and you start going into secondary school, etc, etc. And I feel like that's what I liked about reading, is the fact that it got me away from that sort of thing, just even for like an hour or 2 hours, however long I was reading for, and it's just so nice. And it just makes you calm and just, oh, and just, you can breathe, do you know what I mean? So that's exactly why I like reading. So question number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? So for me, when I was younger, the books that I absolutely loved was the Rainbow Fairies, and these books, oh my god. As I say that now, I can still envision the scene in my head of what's happened, because I used to read them all the time. And even though I only had 3 of them, I think, of my own, I used to borrow them from a library, because I used to go to the library quite a lot, and I used to have them from school, and I just, oh my god, I absolutely love them. But I think it was more because I used to love fairies, and I think when I read about fairies in the world, and you know, the kids only know about these fairies, you know, the mum and dad didn't, and they were the only ones that knew, and they had to go out and help everybody else. That's the sort of thing I absolutely loved. And I also used to like the Jacqueline Wilson books as well, which was the Warrior website. I remember that one used to be my favourite. I used to reread that all the time, and at the time I probably could tell you word for word of what it said on the book because I used to read it so many times. And then a few other Jacqueline Wilson books like J.C. Beaker, Bad Girls, I think it was called Bad Girls. It was like a purple cover, I can't remember what it is now. And then a few else of the books, and I think they what got me into reading. I think, to be honest, like my mum used to read a lot, and I think because she used to read to us as kids, I just kind of like went into that, and that's how I got into reading. And then from the ages of like year 7 to like college age, I never picked up a book again, which is quite a long time to say. I had a book in my face all the time, but I never picked up a book for a very, very long time. And then when I was in college, I started to read again, because I thought, oh, let's just try these books again, because I used to like it, let's see if it gives me the same feeling, and now here we are. So yes, it does. And the thing that got me back into reading again was probably Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Now, before I read that book, I did read like It Ends With Us and some of the other Colleen Hoover books, but I think what really set off my reading, like buying books again and all that, is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I absolutely love that book. And that's what kickstarted me buying books and doing a book talk and having a whole bookcase of, well, not bookcase, but book trolley of books, because that book, I thought, I need to read more. I need to get back into this again because I loved it. So yeah, that's how I got back into reading. So question number 6 is, what questions would I ask my favourite booktubers? So my favourite booktubers at the minute are Kalila D, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I like Shaughnessy. I like her friend, I can't remember her name, Alexandra? Alex, her name's Alex. So Shaughnessy's got a friend called Alex, and she's just recently started up a channel. I love her because she's so honest and she's so down to earth, and she's cracking. I love watching her videos. And who else do I also watch? Oh, Ellen Reed. I've been obsessed with her videos. Every single video I've been, since I found out, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch this video, and then I clicked another one, I clicked on another one. So yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed with them. They are my like top favourite booktubers at the minute, and I can't stop watching them. I love them. But what would I ask them is probably, I'd probably ask them what got them into reading. Like, when did you start thinking about reading, and what books did you ever start with? Did you begin to read at a young age, or did you just start as an adult? I think that is what I would ask my favourite booktubers. So yeah, if any of them watching, probably not, but if you do, that's my question to you. So question number 7 is, what is the challenges and things about booktube are going to be the hardest to overcome? Now for me, it's the whole filming because I can literally sit in front of the camera, know exactly what to say, and then I'll muddle it all up and I have to start all over again. And I've done this multiple times in this video as well. And it's just, you have to take the time to film your videos and to edit them, edit the thumbnails and stuff. And I feel like people don't realise that just because a video is going up on YouTube, that it doesn't mean that it was done overnight, because it's not. And you've got to get the lighting right and the camera right. You know, you might film a video, it might be all out of focus, so you have to do it all over again, or the lighting's gone off, or you know, certain things in your background is just not vibing. And it's not as easy as people think it is. And I think that's the one thing that I've always struggled with YouTube. And sometimes coming up with video ideas, I know that some people do like 2 or 3 videos a week, which, you know, when you first start off, you can't I feel like that's kind of hard to do because you have to have so many video ideas, and that's the thing, like you have to think of video ideas to go up and what is going to be relevant to your audience, and that is, you know, a task in itself, because sometimes when you first start off you don't have a clue what to film and you just think, oh, I'm going to film this, I'm going to film that. You have to sort of research into how to set up a YouTube channel or how to go into a certain genre that you want to do. Like you might like makeup or you might like fashion or something, and you've got to sort of keep going at it. And even though I like doing it, it is quite hard at the same time, because you've got to make that time to film the videos or to edit their videos, you know, and it's not just overnight. And I think that's what the hardest thing is to overcome. And sometimes for me, you know, if I was a complete newbie right from the beginning, it's the confidence thing. I think when I very first started on YouTube, it's definitely the confidence, but as you get used to it, your confidence starts to come out, and at the end of the day you are just talking to a camera. You are just in your room or wherever you're filming, you are just talking to yourself. So just look in the mirror and talk to yourself. It's the same sort of thing, but you've got to build that confidence up, and once you've done it a few times, your confidence does start to come out, and you know, your own personality starts to come out a little bit more, and then you become a bit more of yourself on camera. So yeah, that is probably the hardest things that I'll have to overcome, really. And my camera's just cut off, so I do apologise. I hope that was the last bit that you just heard. When did I start reading? Well, I've already said in the other bit, is basically when I was in primary school. That's when I started reading, and I read all the Rainbow Fairy books and stuff. So yes, it was quite a young age. Like I said, I used to get read to by my mum and my dad, so you know, before going to bed and stuff, we used to get read books to, and it was just one of them things. I feel like if you get read to as a kid, sometimes you sort of develop into, oh, I like to read and stuff. I mean, you're not always, but it just helps your brain as a kid. So yes, I started reading properly at around the ages of like 8, 9, 10ish, and that's when my just whole journey of loving a book. I used to be called a bookworm, like I said, because I always had a book in my face. No matter what it was, always had a book. And I remember going to the library and doing these challenges. So over the half term they used to have challenges of, if you can read over 100 books then you'll get a medal. And I remember getting 3 of these medals once, not all in one go, but like 3 of them, because I'd read over 100 books, because I was obsessed and I thought, I need to have this medal. As a kid, that was like the one thing that I wanted to do. And I had all these books that I read. I think it was 100. It was well, 50, maybe it was a bit less than that, but it was like, I thought, I need to read this book. I was always in the library, every single week I was in the library, and I just remember just sitting there and looking through all these books and thought, these are all different worlds, and it's just so nice. So yeah, that's when I started reading. Number 9 is, where do I read? I read in bed, I read in the car. Yeah, I like silence when I read. I mean, when I was younger, I weren't too bothered about the noise and everything, whereas now I have to have silence, or at least quietness, because I can't focus, my brain can't focus on it anymore. This is why I bought some of these. So these are like the loop earplugs that you can put in to like cancel out noise and stuff. Oh, dropped them. I mean, these are not the actual loop ones, but the imitation of them, and they block out sound around you. So these are good for if you have like autism and stuff as well, if you have sensory issues. Obviously if I'm not doing something else or I need to do something else, then I'll have them in. But if I'm like in my bedroom or in my car or something and I just need to, I have like 5 minutes just to sit, I will put them in and I can relax and read them, and I feel like I can hear my voice a little bit louder because it's all blocked out, if that makes sense. So yes, that is where I like to read. It's mainly in my bed at home, or in the car sometimes. I like to go and take myself off in the car and find a nice quiet place if I've got time to just sit and read for a little bit, and it's just so nice. It is very nice doing that. So yeah. Number 10 is, what sort of books do I like? Now, I predominantly read romance. I love romance books, and recently I have read my first thriller book, which I never ever thought I would ever read a thriller book, but let me tell you, this one, I absolutely wish for it. I read it in like 4 hours flat, but that is coming in another video. I absolutely love that book, and you'll probably more than likely know which book this is and who the author is, because oh my god, I couldn't stop. Mainly romance I will read, and I have a lot of romance books on my book trolley. I have a few fantasy, but I've tried to read 1 or 2 books of fantasy, but I just can't, I don't know what it is, I can't get myself into it. Well, I say fantasy, but Harry Potter's sort of fantasy, and I really like Harry Potter, but I tried other books and I just can't get the same feel from it. So yeah, I don't really dip my toe in them. It's more romance. Romance is the biggest area that I look at, and then I'm sort of slightly going into thriller, which I never thought I'd say, but yeah, mystery thriller. This one, beautiful. So yeah, they are the ones that I like to read. Number 11, what does my book collection look like? So if you watched one of my previous videos, which was the book trolley tour, then that is exactly what it looks like. All my books are on a book trolley. I used to have a bookshelf, but I just don't have room for that bookshelf in my room, so we took it down, and then I decided to buy a book cart or book trolley, whatever you want to call it, and to display my books like that instead, which is a little bit better, a bit more compact, and a little bit more smaller storage rather than having a big bookshelf, because I just don't have the room for it. So yeah, that is how I store my books. So yeah, that is all the questions on the Booktube Newbie tag. If you did enjoy this video, then please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.